pull it up like this. Oh my word!
Alright, and they have a timer!
They have a timer.
It's so good! So
It's like the best.
This is the best.
Apparently there is only one ban on each side this time, not two.
Yeah, it's a slightly different drafting system to what we're used to in some of the other tournaments. But either way, we're actually going to get it done. So right now, 20 seconds left.
Oh yeah.
They have started, so hopefully BKB was paying attention when Ace joined. And will in fact be ready to do their ban. But this is a very nice system. I'm very impressed with this.
This is a very, very nice system. It actually has a timer. So first off, ban is going to be Tychus. And, well, do we really need to explain why you would want to ban out Tychus? I mean, he has been in pretty much every single game, whether it is as a pick or as a ban.
Yeah, pretty much. Tychus is considered by pretty much everyone to be the top level assassin. He is almost always the first pick. He is on the same tier as the majority of the other tier ones who are all supports or warriors. He is the only assassin to really make it into that tier 1 in terms of, I really want this pick. And there's another one of the tier 1s. It is Stitches.
Yeah, so that's the other warrior, but that leaves open Uther, Tassadar and Arthas, so it's most likely going to be Uther going over to SK, and then Tassadar and Arthas going over to mYinsanity, unless, of course, SK decides to pick up either one of those three. I mean, they don't have to pick up Uther, but we've pretty much seen Uther in every single winning composition.
Yep, and you were exactly right. Uther is 100% called out, and apparently I was right. It was Thorsvain who was the Spoon Terran. Hooray! I know my StarCraft players barely. So, if we're going by our usual stuff here, the next two selected should be Tassadar and Arthas.
Yep, that's what I'm expecting.
Arthas and Tyrael, if they really, really want to give away Tassadar. But I expect it will be Tassadar as the pickup, and then yeah, Arthas, Tyrael, or Anubarak are the next level of warriors in terms of pick order.
I totally agree here, and our Tassadar is going to be picked up. Yeah, I don't like picking up Tyrael without Uther next to it.
I would agree.
To be honest.
The whole point of Tyrael is so that you can judgment into an area, which basically CC'd everyone with just enough time for Uther to get in there. There's Arthas as the first pick, and their second pick, as I'm sure we could guess. Hey,
okay,
they chose Tyrael. Okay, so that means they are giving up Tassadar if they want, but that's going to leave. That's definitely going to leave SK with not as many options when it comes to warriors if they choose to go for Tassadar.
Yeah, but they do get two pickups here, and there's no additional banning phase, so they could go for Tassadar into Anubarak, because they know that none of those can get banned out because of this system. And the other option is going for Tassadar and Nova, perhaps, because Nova has been very, very important for all those matches that we've seen before.
Yeah, I'd say Nova would be a pretty solid pick, especially in the current meta, but they probably are going to want to get a more solid assassin on their part, but it's also very important for them that they bring out at least one good warrior if they're going for Tassadar, so I think Anubarak is likely to be one of these two pickups, just to ensure that they get something solid under their belt, but Nova is a pretty solid pickup as well if that's what they decide to go for.
Yeah, so my prediction, Tassadar and Nova.
Tassadar, and I'll go with Anubarak as the second one.
We don't
so
see it
you
yet.
go Nova, you have Anubarak. Wait, no, you have Nova, I have Anubarak.
Yeah, I have Nova,
yeah,
you have Anubarak.
I like the little games. We're probably both going to be wrong, and it's going to be Falstad.
No, it's going to be Asmodee.
Or Rhaegar, or one of the many, many heroes that these teams play. These are two of the most versatile teams in Europe at the moment as well. They're very open to their alternative picks.
Yeah, very true indeed. But apparently they get another 40 seconds on their timer, so we can just assume what these team compositions are going to be like. So supposedly, it is going to be fast.
Called it.
We were both wrong.
No, I called it. I called it.
Well, you called it, but you settled for Anubarak.
I did. I thought Anubarak would be a solid choice, but you were right earlier due to the fact that mYinsanity already have their two warriors, so it's unlikely they're going to take Anubarak away, and there's no bans here, so they're no more bans, so they're not just going to have the Anubarak banned out from them, so they're going to get that as a solid selection anyway.
I'm expecting here a Rhaegar Raynor pickup.
I would agree. I think that's an incredibly solid prediction, and I'm not even going to dispute that unless they are swapping out Reina for Nova. That's the only reason I would expect otherwise.
Yeah, but Nova wouldn't work as well with the Bloodlust as Reina. However, the Earth Shield would work wonders with the Hot Shots ability from Nova.
This is true. If you took the extra damage on it, they'd go for Illidan. mYi,
I give up. I give up.
Yeah, mYi have been known to use Illidan to great effect, and against this particular team comp, it's quite interesting, because one of the biggest issues with this team comp is both Falstad and Tassadar can escape. Like, once they've been CC'd by Tyrael or Arthas or someone like that, they have a little dash or a phase shift, which allows them, once the CC expires on Falstad, of course, it gives them another chance to get away. Illidan basically negates that due to incredible chase potential. And because of that incredible chase, I'm almost positive that their next pick here will be Rhaegar, because it definitely looks like they're going for a bit more of a high damage comp, and Rhaegar with the Ancestral Healing or the Bloodlust, depending on the situation they're in, more likely Ancestral Healing is going to be very solid.
So it's definitely going to be Rhaegar plus an Assassin. In the end, at least Rhaegar was fine, but...
Nope, it's Nova.
Nova. Yeah, I guess it would work, because you can save Rhaegar for the final pick, because the opposing team already has their 2 supports.
This is true. No real reason to pick it out, unless they decide to go for the Bane of Ladder, that is the double support comp, which has happened. Also the quadruple support and then 1 assassin comp. It has happened in the past, and it's quite amusing.
And given that this is a best of 3, the teams are going to just feel each other out in game number 1, I imagine. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we got to the point where the tributes were spawning. Actually, we're playing on the same map.
Yes, it's the same map, completely different comps at the moment, though. And at the moment, looking at this, I think mYi is bringing out the better comp here. Like, their team is incredibly burst heavy, which is going to be amazing. But SK have the slight disadvantage of their only damage dealer, except for possibly Tassadar here, is Falstad, who has to get off all his abilities before he gets kicked out of the game by basically being wrecked by Nova and Illidan. But here we see a Diablo from SK, no Anubarak. I'm assuming Anubarak will be the last one.
They had to pick up a warrior, and Diablo in this case is excellent in peeling people away from your assassin. I mean, Anubarak, he's pretty good at catching people with his impale and of course his deep tunneling, but Diablo is even better at taking someone such as an Illidan away from your assassin and just putting him, well, in a box. I don't know, it could be a box, could be anything, but just saying, okay, you're out of the fight. Yeah, he's going in timeout.
I'd agree. I think Anubarak will probably be their last pickup as well, unless they're going for another assassin like Reina. But like I said, Diablo, a very solid pick, considering that Illidan is going to be all up on Falstad or all up on Tassadar for the majority of the fights. With Diablo, you can really keep Illidan down because all his abilities go through Illidan's evasion. And if you can CC Illidan throughout the entirety of his evasion, once that evasion is popped, all he has is First Aid and Stone Shield to protect himself. And there's Anubarak to add that extra CC. So now we have a lot of CC in the form of Ufa Stun, Diablo CC, and Anubarak knockup. It's a very... SK, with those 2 last pickups, have really turned the draft around to look really pretty solid for them.
Yeah, I actually like how they picked up those 2 warriors here instead of going for the Rainer, now that I've been thinking about it a little bit more. What they have a long-range assassin with the Shotgun off, for instance. They also have a assassin that has a lot of mobility, with, of course, his barrel roll. If you just put a wall in front of your assassin that's already very mobile, it's pretty much going to be impossible to actually get the kill onto the assassin, which means that he'll never be taken out of the fight whatsoever. You have the heals from Uther, you have the... Oh, there we go, we have Brightwing.
Pretty much the only support that they had left except for Malfurion, and Brightwing a bit more useful here. If Diablo's trying to CC your assassin, or if you can't get to the assassin because you're being CC'd by Diablo and Anubarak, then it's pretty easy for you to just turn it around. I'm just going to ready up in game here. It's pretty easy for you to turn it around and just polymorph the assassin until you can get out of that CC, just so your own assassins don't get burst down while the Diablo and Anubarak CC is active.
Alright, so for those who are asking, we have the teams locked in, we have the heroes locked in, we have the map. It's going to be Cursed Hollow for game number 1. And it's going to be Tyrael, Brightwing, Illidan, Arthas, and Nova against the team of Falstad, Tassadar, a big plus, Anubarak, and Uther.
Yeah, that big plus is in fact Diablo in this case. So we are 6 out of 10 readied up. Hopefully the players will ready up soon and we can get into the game.
Alright, I'll just tell them to go, 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 and then we're ready to rock and roll here in the Heroes Premier League. And we have been delayed a little bit due to server issues, but it looks like we finally get a chance to watch SK versus mYi, the legendary match that no one has ever seen before.
The match that some said was too legendary to happen outside of LAN will finally be happening here in the Heroes Pro League. 9 out of 10 players readied up. It will be happening here soon when BKB readies up. Please.
We're waiting for Burger King Boy. It's just taking a little bit. Castles give us the okay. That is correct.
Yes, we have given okay. Yes, they've readied up. Someone hit start game.
What game?
Yes, yes, we are all ready. That's why we've all hit the ready button.
Exactly, that's the beauty of this game.
That is the point of the ready button.
4, 3, 2, 1. We're going into the game. You can hear it in the background, and I'm switching to my overlay. We're going to be playing on the Cursed Hollow, and for those who have been wondering, what is the Cursed Hollow? Well, the Cursed Hollow, you have to collect tributes, you have to curse your enemies by collecting 3 of them, and then your enemies are cursed. That means that their force and minions will not attack, minions will attack, but their minions will be reduced to 1 hit point, so that pretty much means that they are not going to do anything whatsoever. Good moment to start pushing, and, well, Thatcher, are we going to see something here? Are we going to see a good match?
I think that's all we're going to see. We're only going to see good matches for the entirety of this best of 3. And the biggest thing we have to point out here is this, right now, is for first place in the Premier League. Both these teams, 4 matches, 4 wins. Someone has to lose here. Unless they find a way to draw, someone has to lose and ruin the spree. And move to 2nd place. I
like your thinking. Someone has to lose because you can't both win.
Unless there's
totally
a draw.
agree.
But then they would both lose if there's a draw.
You should change your name to Logicer.
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 Yes, as most people know, the best logic is if you don't win, you've probably lost.
Yeah, that's true.
I believe that was your quote from yesterday. In fact,
you're stealing my quotes. Well, from now I'm just going to call you Logitech.
Boo.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, all funny business aside, we are looking at mYi versus SK, and it's, I believe, mYi in the blue trunks versus SK in the red ones.
That is in fact correct. We're seeing both teams hanging around the mid lane a bit, with SK a bit more visible in their hiding than mYi. mYi hiding, looking when SK decide to roam down to the bot lane by the looks of it, just hanging around there waiting for the opportune moment. But SK, having none of it, have already rotated back towards their hard camp. And this is something we see SK do a bit more than mYi. Go for those really quick merc camps rather than risking the early gank or waiting for this kind of bushwhack strategy that mYi is so fond of.
Yeah, and this is basically what gave them the leads in the previous match, or at least didn't lose them that early game. And that's also something we have to be looking at when we're looking at mYi. mYi is a team that usually loses their early game and then comes back in the late game, whereas SK is a team that's always very solid. And now that the easy camp has been picked up by the team of SK, mYi knows, well, we'll just have to reply with that by taking our own easy camp. But that means that they're rotating a little bit too late, and that is giving the advantage over to the team of SK.
Very much so. mYi playing a bit more of a reactory game here, just trying to match SK for merc camp here. But SK are already on their hard camp, have already taken out the wizard, and they're just going to clear this quite quickly, trying to let the Locust tank dealing with the shields. And I'm liking that they are using Tassadar here as the second roamer instead of Diablo, as most teams do
this
seem
is
to
even better.
Warrior.
Look at mYi.
That's bad.
They're coming in.
Diablo's already reacting to this. Brightwing TPCs and stolen. That's nice.
Wow, that was amazing by MYI. They actually, and this time they weren't reactive, they were proactive. They expected SK to go for the hard camp and immediately made their way over there. They had the siege golems in the top lane, which meant that Zarmany could not leave his top lane without losing a lot of his structures there. So very, very well played. But at the same time, those mercenaries have been stopped by BZ and BKB. But that was pretty intense already at the start of the match.
Very much so. And something else quite important I'd like to point out here is I did point out that they are using BZ on the Tassadar as the second roamer here as opposed to another warrior. Whereas, if we go on the other side, we have Shinobu on the Nova is the one in lane, leaving Illidan as the second roamer and the jungler. Nova, not the best laner, very slow at clearing waves. Usually quite good at ganking, but instead she's just keeping Linked as busy as possible. But first tribute spawned, and we're not even going to see SK try and contest this. MY just going to scoop this up straight away.
Yeah, SK probably knows that MYI is already on the tribute, and probably after what happened at the hard camp, they decide, Brightwing can come in at any moment, we're not going to risk it. They give over the first tribute. It's not that hard. It's not just such a big problem, because the first tribute doesn't do anything at all. It's only when you got 3 of them that something happens. So for now, giving up the first tribute is not really such a bad thing. And this is also something that mYi is doing in the top lane, the bushwhack strategy that they like so much. Just like you said, Thatcher, they're waiting for that gank in the top lane. Zarmany in a lot of trouble if he decides to go to the bottom side of the lane.
This is true. If he ventures too far forward or goes to the bottom side, he could, in fact, if he wanted to right now, just fly over it. And the issue that SK have here is they've dropped down a bit in levels. Even though mY were able to take that first tribute without very much difficulty, they didn't get the level. SK didn't get a level advantage for letting it go, and here they're once again not going to really do much to contest this tribute. They're going to completely ignore it. They're not even going to stay in the mid lane to get the level advantage. They're just leaving one person in top and bottom lane, and they're going to take their own boss camp.
That's actually a very smart idea by SK, and this is something we've been seeing in other tournaments as well. They opt to go for the big mercenaries before they go for the first tribute, and that boss should put a lot of pressure onto Brightwing. However, it's going to turn into a 5 versus 5 fight.
Quick enough.
Diablo in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they did not take the boss quick enough, and now we are going to see a team fight on boss. No one gets stunned by the golem there, but it's very close. Golem is quite low. mYi looking a bit better at the health stuff here. Roll is already lowered in. BKB just goes straight in. Nice knock-up onto pretty much everyone. Zarmany gets envenomed and shielded by BZ, so he is alive. Tyrael did go down for mY, but he takes down a Nubrak on the way out, and Ace of Spades sneaks the golem in the background. Very nice there. But kill-wise, SK did come out a bit ahead, and the tribute has spawned right here, so they aren't looking too bad, but they have to deal with this golem. It's basically up to Linked to see if he can sneak this, but Lowell is already here to try and dispute that.
Yeah, that golem has to be dealt with. Linked is actually on the way already. Lowell, will he dash over the wall? He has to be fast though. He jumps straight onto Linked. Actually, Link getting a little bit of help there from BZ as well as from Burger King Boy, but it doesn't quite well, he doesn't quite get there, and Lowell
this is a curse.
Yeah, it's the curse. mYi with a beautiful push there in the top lane. The Grave Golem now, pretty much, he's going to be undeterred by any of the forts. Just look at the damage that it's already dealing, and mYi is rotating to the top lane. They're onto Rawl. Rawl taking quite a bit of damage. He's dangerously low, as both the Judgment, the Precision Strike now from Nova, that's the kill onto Diablo. They're chasing now Uther as well. Uther has gone down, and you were talking about how SK had the kill advantage. I'm pretty sure that just got negated.
Yeah, mYi managed to catch up here magnificently. Oh, I'd say catch up. They've actually been ahead this entire time, but that was incredible play. Able to get that curse while the golem that they stole from SK was active, and SK just didn't put enough pressure onto those tributes. mYi, it does not take long to grab a tribute, and as you saw there, they were able to grab that tribute and then immediately rotate up to where they knew SK would be, dispute the golem, take the golem, and now that golem has only just died in the top lane, already getting to the tier 2 towers.
Yeah, you have to consider a few things here, and that's basically, you were talking about the Grave Golem, how it was stolen by Ace of Spades. That was critical in getting the tribute. If SK didn't have to go for defending their top lane, then they would have been able to take that tribute because they had that numbers advantage. They had a little bit of a better positioning there, and yeah, it was a very risky play by SK to take the Grave Golem. But again, mYi is predicting where SK is going.
This is indeed the case, and mYi are currently just moving up to just their inside of SK's jungle, just taking as much stuff as possible. They're going to be able to take this hard camp as well, and Fred's even taking the time to kill off a couple minions.
But now though, Fred is going to get chased down. He gets knocked up, tanks up a lot of the damage. His precision strike doesn't actually hits a lot of them, and the team fight continues as shock on all lands.
Oh, that was
is it going to be enough?
That was a great apocalypse by Ra, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Lowell is still alive with the thanks to the first aid and the heals from the Brightwing. And there goes the rest of SK. We see the phase shift used by BZ there. The ice has gone down and BZ gets popped. It's just Ral and Zarmony. Ral did come back thanks to his souls, but he's not going to be able to get anything. Trying to get Ruggy, but the fireball doesn't hit. And now Ral is seriously out of position. Is the ice route up? Doesn't matter. Death Coil does kill off Ral, and that is... Wow, that's incredible.
That's a domination.
That's
very much a domination. The entire team of SK just got wiped one after another by the team of mYinsanity, and nobody died on the side of mYinsanity. That is huge. They were so far ahead. SK should never have picked that fight with mYi. They should have just defended and hoped that they could come back due to the experience boost that you get when you're behind.
This is true. They are currently a talent behind. They're about to hit level 13, which will give them the talent that will get them back in. Whereas mYi currently racing towards level 16 so that they can get that one talent ahead again. At the moment, talents fairly standard on both sides. A very shield heavy build by BKB, which just isn't helping against the huge damage coming out from Lowell and Shinobu here, and it's just not helping. Whereas Brightwing, with the blink heal and the gust of healing, which is just the activate healing, so she can just release a burst if Lowell starts going down or something. It's just very hard to kill off the assassins. They're just too strong, thanks to the first aid on Lowell on the Illidan, and Ace of Spades just protecting them with Freds and Araragi in the front line.
So another thing that just happened was another tribute spawning on the side of mYi, and you saw SK, they were like, okay, we cannot fight at this point. We tried to fight just a little bit before, and they're now just going to try and regroup, get themselves that talent back, because they have to fight before mYi hits level 20. That's basically something that has to happen. They have to get the talent and then fight before the second heroic talent unlocks for mYi. However, mYi is already on the boss camp, and that might just be enough for them to push down that top lane.
Yeah, they are already starting on this. Tassadar did Oracle earlier, so he knew that mYi were hanging around in this area. And the fact that Araragi is up here clearing the way for when the golem comes, they suspect very much so. And they're going to try and dash in. There's the Ufa Sprint Divine Storm. Fred is still able to take the golem while all this is going on. Brawl has come in. Apocalypse was dropped, did land a couple stuns. And this is actually looking pretty good for SK. Brightwing is already down. There goes Tyrael, but Lowell is still dealing the damage. Down goes Falstad. BKB was somehow popped there, and BZ is now being chased down by Fred. Somehow Shinobu got out of that alive, barely. But this is not looking good again for SK. Once again, Shinobu dropping really low thanks to that side storm, but still escaping.
So now the team of mYi has a Grave Golem in the top lane. They have 10 seconds on the initial respawn timer of, I believe, Anubarak. He is not going to be able to stop mYi's assault here, so they're going to lose a keep for this one.
Yep, they're going to lose a keep for this one. And I'd also like to point out that we have triple blood for blood on the side of mYi here. They're just going to steal as much health from SK as possible because of the Diablo, because of the Anubarak, because of the Ufa. Literally, they just going to slow them down, steal their health, and deal the damage needed to take them down. And it's a very nice build, but very, very evil.
Well, this game is not about good or evil, it's about who wins, and it looks like mYi is in a very good position. Zarmony actually trying to take the easy golems. He does manage to get away from this one and take them. Lowell going a little bit deep there, immediately gets pushed away by Rawl. And you can see that Ace of Spades has rejoined the fight due to the phase shift onto Lowell. Is it phase shift? Not entirely sure if the jump from Brightwing is called phase shift, but whatever. we're just going to go about our own way. But yeah, you have to give it to myi. They're completely dominating SK, which is already something that you don't see often.
This is true. We don't see SK lose that many games in general. But here we go. SK once again being forced to pull back to their base. There's 2 hard camps and 1 easy camp currently available on the map that they just can't really get to. But it looks like because... Sorry, that's a boss camp, not a hard camp on the side of myi. And myi choosing to focus that over the SK hard camp. So it's likely that SK, once they realise that myi aren't here, they will either move to that hard camp or head down to bot lane to try and contest that tribute, which they're going to decide to do because myi already has 2 tributes under their belt. Need to grab that watchtower so that myi won't be able to see them as well as they currently do.
The issue here being is that there's now a grave golem in the bottom lane. Rawl is trying to take the tribute. He's not going to get there. Ararag is just going to zone out the team of SK Gaming, and they're just it's kind of like a Mexican standoff here right now. But the issue is there's a timer on SK. If they do not go in right now, if they do not fight, that grave golem in the bottom lane is going to keep. Here's the fight. It's breaking out.
Shinobu did try to get burst down there, but Zarmany's ult was interrupted there. Shinobu somehow almost got out of line, but Rawl just tackled straight through and picked him out. But it's Lowell who's dealing the most damage here, able to take down Falstad even through tanking the ultimate, and everyone else is just going to die here. Lowell's back to full health again. He does not care at all. Linked is trying to get out of there. Ace of Spades is actually there. He could throw down a polymorph if he wanted to. Down goes Tyrael, actually. Very nice there. Ace of Spades is being dropped down pretty low. He's going to try and chase down Linked. Not going to catch him, but Beezy, no such luck. Lau chasing him to the ends of the earth. And Lau on this Illidan has been spectacular all game. And he's going in again onto Rawl.
Yeah, and once Illidan gets ahead, you don't want him on your tail. And also another thing that just happened during the fight is that the tribute was picked up by myi. It was to be expected, but now myi is on the core already down to 90% hit points, and Lowell trying his best to just deal as much damage to the core as he can. But I don't think they can actually finish it.
I think he can. Lowell is dancing around here. Happy feet. No, he does go down. Now it's Ace of Spades and Fred's on the core doing as much damage as possible. But you might be right, isn't it? They're going to be able to do it. The Blink heal comes in to try and heal Freds. Freds is the last one left, and down he goes. SK defend their core barely. I'm waiting for the precision strike from Nova. What's the cooldown on that? That is quite a while.
They already used it.
Yeah, it is down, so they're not going to be able to precision strike, and it wouldn't kill off the core anyway. We now have catapults coming in from the top lane, going to take out some of that shield, but they will be killed off fast. And SK heavily on the defense right now.
And at this point, the curse runs out, but myi isn't done yet. They're going to pick up a hard camp again, and they're going to just sit back and wait until they hit level 20. That's all they have to do. 1 level 20, and then it's all over.
Yep, this is true. We're seeing SK once again going for their own hard camp, trying to get anything just to counter myi's huge pushing potential. They need to take the pressure off in as many lanes as possible to give them a chance of coming back here. But now they have the huge issue of their own boss camp being up. And where do you think myi is going to head right now?
Well, I'm not really a fortune teller, but I think that myi is going to be moving a little bit towards that boss camp, although myi is a little bit late. They only have Lowell there, and that means that SK is going to take their own boss camp for the first time this game. And that might just be enough for SK to at least get themselves back into a fighting position, because they're not that far behind on experience. But should myi go for a straight dive onto the core, yeah, that's pretty much where it's going to be. It's probably going to be enough for myi to just flat out tank up the core. I guess they can do that right now.
They can dive it. There is a lot of shield on that core at the moment, so it will be a bit difficult for them to dive through. But with this easy camp and the hard camp, what's left of the hard camp distracting in the top lane, now is their chance. And here they come. There's already a wave in this bot lane. They're going to attempt to go for the dive here. Fred's just clearing the wave, so they get some minions to tank for them. Dasadar trying to delay with the storms, but myi, they've committed to this. They're too far forward to back out now, and BKB has been iced and envenomed. Here is the team fight.
Nice team fight breaking out. Linked actually trying to get Shinobu out of the fight, but it's not really the damage from Shinobu that's the worst thing. Precision strike comes out, Shock and Awe finally lands, but it isn't going to be enough. 2 deaths on the side of SK already. 3, 4 from the looks of it. Lowell jumping onto BZ. BZ might go down here. Oh no, it's going to be mYi who's going to go straight for the core. It goes down. First game of the evening is going to go over to mYi in what I would say one heck of a nail-biter. Already started the draw phase before we were ready, Thatcher.
I was ready.
I wasn't.
Exactly, you weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention. It's always my fault, right?
100% of the time. You're always right, so therefore whenever you're wrong, it is always your fault.
You are very much correct. Alright, so we have 2 games out. Let me immediately pull up the drafts. There we go. So Stitches and Tychus.
Yes.
First pick, Uther.
Yep. I would say exactly the same. First pick, likely Uther. Unless they really want Tassadar. Who knows? It is mYinsanity who in fact get the first pick this time.
Yeah, so it's going to be Uther. That's for certain. I do not know of any other champion that would ever want the first pick over an Uther.
Tassadar. That's your other option. But I doubt that is. I still agree with you that it's probably going to be Uther. Unless they are going for a particular team comp. But we will have to see. They're actually bringing it down to the wire to pick Uther. So I wonder what happens if that timer runs out.
I wonder as well.
Yeah, but it's Uther.
Yeah, I win. I win.
Everyone wins. Because
no, Techno wins. Techno always wins.
Everyone wins.
No, you guys can't win because I'm already winning. Because if you're not winning, you're losing.
There is no I in team, but there is an I in pie. And there's a type of pie that is a meat pie, and meat is an anagram of team, so you're on the team. Act like it. We are winning.
I am winning.
And we have Artas. So far, teams almost an exact mirror of each other. Only last time, they caught us a bit off guard with a
Tyrael picker. But that was mYinsanity. If mYinsanity really wants, they can pick up Tyrael and Illidan right now.
Tyrael, Illidan, yeah, or Tyrael and Nubarak. There's Tyrael. Solid pick. Second, a Nubarak. Yay, there we go.
Yay,
so mYinsanity going for their more standard strategy of picking out the warriors first and then just dealing with the assassin issue at a later date. Because they do now have the 2 spots for their 2 assassins, or, as mYi have been known to do, bring out the Zagara if the assassins all get picked up, but that's quite unlikely because we don't have the extra 2 bans.
Yeah, that's something something different from the normal games that we cast, is that this time there are no bans during the midway, during the draw phase itself, so that means that I'm expecting SK to pick up Rhaegar, or Rhaegar, depending on how you want to pronounce him. Is there an official pronunciation?
It's Rhaegar.
Rhaegar.
Same as Rhaena.
But Rhaegar is A-Y, and...
Yes, but it's still pronounced the same. And we have SK bringing out the Nova, and their second pick, if they've already picked up Nova, they might just be going for a almost mirror comp and bring out the Illidan.
Yeah, but then they're running straight into Uther and into Tyrael. I mean,
last time.
No. Tyrael was on the side of Illidan.
This is true. This is true.
And with Tyrael, you can actually protect your team from Illidan.
This is very true. Well, the other options available are, if they're going for their second assassin now, they have a Falstad, they have Rhaena, they are available. Vala is also open for pick if that's what they choose. At the moment, this is looking like an interesting team, or looking like a very gank-heavy team comp. I expect it to be Arthas Nova wandering around together for SK for their gank squad. Whereas at the moment, I can only see a Nubarak in the gank squad for mYinsanity, so it's a question of who their second member of their gank squad will be. And it is Rhaegar as the next pickup for SK. So we can...
At least I got that one right.
Yep, you were correct. Well, they already had the Tassadar support, but Tassadar seems to fill a role of sort of an assassin support mix with a little bit of warrior in there. He is just a utility hero, very useful in almost every scenario.
Yeah, so picking a... Also, the amount of vision that he gives with his Oracle ability is just phenomenal. There's almost no ganking a Tassadar unless you time it perfectly right after he popped that Oracle.
Very
so for now, though,
so.
It is going to be mYinsanity with 2 pickups. So, no Nova. That means they are going to be picking up a Falstad. And they're going to be picking up a... Diablo?
I'd say a Rhaena. They already have 2. So they already have 2 warriors. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Falstad Rhaena or Falstad Vala or Rhaena Vala.
I'm expecting fasted Illidan, to be honest.
I'm not sure Illidan is a great idea against this particular team comp.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the Ancestral Healing. If you don't get someone down, then Ancestral Healing is going to pop them right back up.
Yeah, I'd say personally, I'd prefer Reyna Falstad. Nope, it is Illidan. It is Illidan in the end anyway. Illidan, mYinsanity, just playing him a lot lately. He is a fantastic pick, it seems.
Yeah, I like Illidan, and that means that you have Reyna as the secondary assassin, or Falstad. Yeah, Falstad. That was the one. I was not Reyna. Stop confusing me, Thatcher.
Aye.
Technically, is confused. It hurt itself in the confusion.
Oh dear. Well, try not to faint. Try to snap out of that confusion soon. Whereas we wait for mYinsanity to lock in their last assassin pick, and there is the Zagara! We did call that out very early, that mYinsanity have been known to bring out the Zagara instead of another assassin, so this is pretty nice. They have the full face engage, and then they have Zagara at the back for just the CC to remove Nova. If they want to just cancel out her ult, they have many ways to cancel out the triple tap, if that's what's going for, but it's more likely that we will see the
I don't like
precision strike.
I don't like this. They don't have a ranged assassin. They don't have a ranged assassin.
Yes, they do.
Which is a ranged
Zagara.
assassin? It's not an assassin.
It does does exactly the same job.
I refuse to see her.
Zagara with range and damage increase is her second talent. Plus the hunter killers will easily outmatch almost any assassin in terms of damage.
True enough.
The issue is you simply have to run away from the hunter killer and then it's sort of negated or kill it off. But she is very effective, especially in this kind of team comp where there's so much CC that she can drop down all her abilities for the entire time, and she can be split pushing while anything else does happen. And on this map, she is very good for helping take the seeds. And the last pick, Kerrigan.
So pick. 2 queens. Sorry, it's a Brood Lord and a queen.
A Brood Mother and a queen.
Brood Mother. Oh yeah, of course, because. Alright, so it's SK Gaming against mYinsanity, and we are heading into game number 2 as we're flipping over to the Heroes client. Let's go draft. And I believe the draft is complete, so everybody has already selected their heroes.
Yep, everyone is selected, everyone's locked in. I believe we are ready.
I sure hope so. But out of all the players, only 3 out of 4 out of 10 have currently ready up. And the observers also need to ready up here.
Well, we are already readied up. Players readying up very quickly. 6, 7. We are currently waiting for the big plus sign on my screen. And we are waiting for BZ and Linked to ready up. And then we will be ready to go. I'm guessing the players just preparing themselves mentally for the battle before we get into it here. 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Come on, big plus.
Who waiting? Yeah, I think it is the big plus we're waiting for. Who is the big plus? Oh, okay, it's
no matter what, we're currently in game number 2 out of 3, which means that if mYinsanity wins this one on the Garden of Terror, they're going to be they're going to be on the top of the standings at the end of this week. Can we have a smoke in to?
I really wish he'd done that during the actual break.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it looks like some of the players are in a hurry. So, smoke break. Oh, okay. Okay, no, BKB says fine. Yep, ready up. We will get going. But, Shino, no ready. Come on.
Come on, Shino, there we
go. There we go. 10 out of 10. Let's go.
Get ready to rumble.
That's the wrong sport. And there's no Gazlo in this game, so there's no boxing gloves.
Not yet. Not yet.
Gazlo soon. He will have his time. He has no escape, and his abilities take ages to do what the job that most of these characters are doing. But soon he will have his day.
I like how Ace of Spades is saying go smoke if needed, but he can actually start the game.
Yeah. Press the start game button.
Press it. It's
there
right in
we
the middle. There we go. Took long enough. We are going in game. Match starting in 0. Well, not really 0. We're on the Garden of Terror loading screen. So for those who are new to Heroes of the Storm, Fight the Shamblers. These will appear during the nighttime. Nighttime happens every so often. Then if you fight them, you destroy them. You get some seeds. If you get 100 seeds, you can build your own monster in your base. Control it by right-clicking and then wreak havoc on your enemies. That's how the map works. We're looking at game number 2 between mYinsanity and SK Gaming. Winner becomes the leader of the rankings in week number 5.
This is very much true. So as we can see, it is SK on the left-hand side of the Garden of Terror and mYi on the right side. And looking at the teams, I still think that mYi came out a bit ahead in the draft here due to the fact that SK bringing out the Kerrigan is a bit risky to me.
On the flip side, though, if they want to win, they have to play risky. That's how they. That's how you beat mYi. mYi is very weak in the early stage of the game. That's what we've been seeing every single match. So don't give them a finger because they will take your hand. And I think that that is the kind of policy that SK is running with right now.
I would agree. We're seeing Linked hanging around the mid lane, whereas SK moving into that bot lane. Looks like they're finally going for the Bushwhack strategy, but revealed. Very nice there by Shinobu. Oracle also used, so we're not going to see an early gank for either team right now. And Linked then instantly picking off those creep tumors. What was oh, that was Beezy giving them the vision with Oracle. So they're clearing up that creep very, very early. And Shinobu finally going to move into lane. Needs to be careful which way he goes. There we go. Going in through the bot lane so that he does not get picked off by BKB and Ral. And as we can see, mYi already taking their easy camp, doing the opposite of what happened on the Cursed Hollow, being really proactive
Shinobu
with
in a
their
lot of trouble.
mercs.
He gets locked up at the root. There's Raw with the pull, and that's the end. Goodbye, Zagara. Enter the Swarm.
Enter the Swarm, indeed. Very well played. Really using the Kerrigan to the Kerrigan mechanics to their advantage in the early game. And now, with a kill under their belt, they are finally going to rotate around and begin on that easy camp. Very nice timing with the stun there by Ral, cancelling out the giant auto attack, and the shield there also cancelling it out. So I'm really liking Ral's use of the mechanics of Kerrigan here. Looks like he has been practicing with her.
Kerrigan actually, together with Arceus, is amazing. We just saw what they can do in that bottom lane. Land the root, let it expire, and then subsequently pull them back in so they have nowhere to go, especially if you can combine it with your impalement. For now, though, both teams are heading towards Shamblers. The seed race has begun. Looks like mYi at this point is a little bit better in getting those seeds.
Yeah, they are a little bit better, but SK gotta catch up as they take the small camp here, and that will be all the small camps for both teams gone. Don't forget those seeds. There we go. They're tied up. One of these teams is gonna have to go for the... Oh, we could be in Freds, meeting each other there in that bottom jungle area. And neither team really wanting to make a move yet. Both just playing it slowly and safely, waiting for an opportunity. And mYi realised we really don't want to go in onto the Shambler here until our team is ready, so we're just going to take this easy camp.
Right move there by mYi, but now it's going to be a 3 versus 3 situation here at the easy camp. One of the golems has already gone down, but they have to be careful. SK is already dealing a lot of damage. Aragi coming in, Shinobu as well. They're onto BKB. BKB doesn't really have anywhere to escape to, but he is very, very tanky. Will he go down though? Yes, that's one kill. Now Freds is in a lot of trouble. He has to fall back low, even more so. He is down. And Nova coming all the way from the top lane together with Uther to try and take down this easy camp. It's the battle of titans here. Araragi in a lot of trouble. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Jumps in with his sword. But is that really what he wanted to be doing? He's
Shield.
away.
Good heal.
So close. But yeah, the easy camp taken by SK. SK getting a little bit of an advantage here and now moving to the top side of the map. And they might just go for the Shambler here, if they want to.
I think they might do that after they've cleared the waves and just got a bit of health back. But what we saw there was a little bit of indecision for the side of mYi. A couple of their members all went into that easy camp, but like one at a time. So they weren't committed to the defense of that area at all. So it had to be let go. Now because of that, SK have pretty much full control of this top lane. But Illidan is up here. He is taking the hard camp, and once his team arrives, he can begin contesting the Shambler, but it's too late.
It's too late, but they can still initiate a fight if they so desire. I don't think they really want to, because, well, right now, SK has 90 seeds. They need to go all in on this bottom lane, because if SK gets another 10 and they get the first plant golem, then they might be able to snowball their lead, because it's so important to get ahead in this game, especially in the early stages, just to get to level 10 before your opponents do. For now though, it's mYi starting off the plant, the Shambler. Aragi jumps onto Link, then lands onto Rawl, but both of them are just going to fall back for now, as mYi is taking the Golem down to, or rather the Shambler down to half health.
Very much so. mYi for a while there were 5 versus 4, but Zamboni has finally arrived for SK, and they're going to contest this. They stop the final seeds being gotten by mYi, and the team fight is very much underway. Lal being dropped down quite low thanks to an Envenom, but is looking like he's going to get out alive. Shinobu still pretty much full health, just landing all his damage. Araki gets healed up, so he's not going down yet, but SK take down Tyrael there, and Lal jumps back in and gets picked off very quickly. This is not looking good for mYi at all, and SK take that team fight in very convincing fashion.
So, you were talking about indecisiveness before, and this fight completely demonstrated how indecisive mYi was. mYi, if they were going all in, then they should have sent Tyrael right into the center of SK, try and get his passive procced onto as many members of SK as they are team fighting, and then maybe they could have turned it around. This time though, they let Aragi die, and then went in. So there was no follow... It was basically going in one by one, and that's the worst thing you can do as a team in Heroes of the Storm.
Very much so. And we're seeing SK really dominate this game. This is still technically the early game, so if mYi are going to make their comeback, it's going to be soon, because this is what they do. They seem to lose the early game and then make it back during the late game team fights, but it's going to be very difficult for them, because SK, what they do is they gain the early lead and then never let it go, and they have this early lead now. They're only 8 seeds away compared to the 12 seeds of mYi from getting their plant golem, their plant terror, sorry, and they are now pushing down the mid lane with this easy camp. This is not looking that good for mYi. However, mYi responding quite sensibly here. They've got everyone in the mid lane except for 2 people who are in the top and bot lanes respectively, just soaking up the XP to try and bring back that level deficit.
And also put down a lot of pressure onto these towers, because I wouldn't put it past those guys. Actually, they managed to push all the way to the 4th, so that push in the mid lane was pretty much as effective as the solo push that Tyrael was doing in the top lane, so nothing of value was lost there. Another thing that's happening due to the fact that you were talking about soaking up experience is that now they're both they both have their heroic abilities available, and that might be just the thing that mYi needs to get back into this game, just because of the Divine Storm and the Judgment, assuming he picked that one up, and the transformation that we expect to see from Lowell.
They did. All the ultimates are very much what we would expect. We have Divine Storm, Judgment, Locust Swarm, Metamorphosis, and the Devouring Maw on the side of mYi. The Devouring Maw is going to be the important ultimate here, just seeing as it can hit so many people, depending on who it hits. All the other ults we've seen before, but it's the Devouring Maw that is the wildcard here. There's the Judgment, there's the Ancestral Healing onto Roll. Wasn't really needed. Tyrael already popped. Lal being dropped low here. He is shielded. He has popped First Aid. Where's the CC? Kerrigan pulls him in, and he goes down. That's another 2 for 0 in favour of SK, and they're just going to push down this mid lane now and take this fort, because there is no way that mYi are going to stop them.
And that was a very, very bad move by mYi. If you don't know where your enemies are, if you can't count them on the map, do not engage. They thought they had the upper hand in terms of numbers, and then suddenly, well, SK came from the shadows and took down mYi. And now also, both teams are going to get the plant golem, but I'm expecting that SK is going to walk away with more seeds after the first one.
I would agree, and I'm just...
Wow!
Yeah, that went well. Nova just got completely picked off there, and mYi now getting control. Both teams have their plant terrors, and mYi are finally just looks like they're going to be able to pick up this Shambler, while SK in the top lane are going to be able to pick up the top lane Shambler as well. So both teams going to have a lot of seeds by the time night is over, possibly enough for another plant terror each. Once the night time ends, we'll see in a second. Nope, not enough there for mYi.
That's pretty much impossible due to the fact that there are 180 seeds every night.
98!
So, yeah, exactly.
So close. So close indeed.
But no cigar. And immediately Araki dropping down the bulb. He's going to be waiting for the other terror in the hands of Raw this time.
Yeah, we're going to see what is probably going to be... I was about to say, looks like we were going to see a full team fight, but instead, the majority of mYi is rotating up to the top lane and just using this Plant Terror to delay SK. Just keep it distracted, keep their Plant Terror on the exploration, but mYi's will run out of time much quicker than SK's, and SK have realised, yeah, this is silly, this is a distraction we can't afford, and are instead just going to head to the bot lane, ignore the Plant Terror completely, and start beating it up, while a couple members of SK are staying top to deal with the mYi SK, while the rest of mYi have just rotated the top, killed the fort, and are now on their way to help out what is left of the duration of their Plant Terror.
I have to question the decision making of SK here, because look at the damage that mYi is doing. They took down 2 forts with 1 Plant Terror, and SK, well, is still struggling with the fort. There we go, finally it goes down. But mYi slowly but surely getting back into this game due to good map positioning, good rotation. And also now they're jumping onto Rawl. Rawl in a 5 versus 1 situation. Their Plant Golem. That Plant Golem is not long for this world, although neither is mYi, so they're going to go down at the same time. Though. Yeah, that one is pretty good. Actually, the Plant Golem on mYi, sorry, SK is already going down. Now they're actually onto BKB. BKB gets locked up, he's all alone. Although Aragi is pretty much in the same position here. Nice precision strike. God,
that was an incredible devouring maw there. All the odds are popped. The ancestral healing was not enough there to save his teammate, but it looks like mYi are bringing it back. There's only 2 members left, and we can see them here running away from Lau, and Lau waiting for the Archon to pop, goes in onto BZ, and BZ goes down. The phase shift was used up, and mYi, like we said, we're in the mid to late game now, and this is where mYi starts to shine.
Yeah, so something about this last team fight, and something we've been seeing earlier in the game that wasn't going the way of mYi. mYi was making the right decisions and was making decisions. SK decided to fall back. They decided to go back on what they were doing. They were first sending all their heroes down to the bottom lane to try and take down that fort. And then eventually they left Rawl alone to deal with the fort and then heading straight back to their own base. That cost them a fort in the top lane, that cost them a fort in the mid lane, and it was a very interesting decision to say. If they chose to just push down the bottom lane all the way to the keep, then mYi would have run out of Plant Terror before SK, and they would have never been able to take the keep. So SK now running straight into the team fight of mYi, and that allowed mYi to do what they're good at, and that's team fighting with Zagara.
This, in fact, is the case, and that Zagara ult, as you pointed out, was one of the most important factors in that battle. We can see that Zagara has gone for a very hunter-killer based build with the extra damage. 2 hunter-killers and both of them as Mutalisks. Rather than the extra damage and range, we have double overdrive on the side of SK. They don't want that to happen again. They want mYi to pop before they can get down those very high CC ults. So very interesting, and we also have a route by Linked, so they're definitely going for CC and huge amounts of damage on their side, whereas mYi once again going for the double blood for blood rather than the triple. Ace of Spades yet to take his level 16 ultimate, waiting for the opportunity to work out what would be the most efficient here, but he has already in the earlier talents taken Shrink Ray to try and deal with the Tassadars or the Kerrigans, and Cleanse to help his team get caught out by said heroes.
Okay, so now mYi has taken the Plant Terror a little bit earlier than when we're looking at SK, but there's also another thing that mYi is doing here.
Oh my God.
Like it.
You don't fit. How do they all fit in there? Oh, here they come. Somebody has spotted. Nice route there by BKB, and Lau has gone onto it. The precision strike did go down, and wow, Zagara was popped so quickly there, and it's only BKB who's really taking damage here. The curses have gone down for both teams, and BKB is the one who gets polymorphed here, but mYi in full retreat. Ace heals himself up, but BC is on the chase. Roller was also beating him down, and that's 2 kills for SK. BKB, the only one who's really taken any damage at all here, and he's just going to be out. In fact, the majority of SK appear to be being out here and getting ready to rotate down to that bot lane to help deal with that Plant Terror. In the meantime, it is Fred versus Rawl. Rawl is on the wrong side of the wall here, but he does not care. He's just wailing on these buildings, realizing that the attack speed reduction of the fort is a bit too much for him, so he's going to back out and wait for his plant to be up. And there we go, bulbs up. He's just going to move back in and start wailing on this, whereas the rest of SK in the bot lane have already forced Aragi to back up, even though he's in the plant area and has that extra health pool, doesn't want to be caught out.
So, a very important thing about in that last fight was the fact that Zagara got popped immediately. If you run a composition like myi is doing, then you have to have all your ultimates, you have to go for the wombo combo, you have to... Yeah, Raw's dead, but...
Yep.
That's pretty obvious. I mean, we don't have to talk about Ral. Also, the keep went down in the background. Okay, interesting.
That was the bulb. The bulb.
Another. Okay. But to get back to the point I was trying to make is that if you get your Devouring Maw taken out in this particular team comp, you're going to lose your team fight. And myi, they realized that and immediately retreated. Which also, another thing I really liked about the decision making is during the retreat they sent their own plant golem to the bottom lane in order to take down the fort to about 25% hit points, which myi can now pick up with ease and get themselves onto that much needed level 18.
Yeah, they're just going to the fort has now been finished off, and that is every fort down for both teams. And this is the kind of game we were seeing yesterday before the servers did die. Both teams very even. The XP count ever so slightly in favour of SK here, which was actually fairly similar to yesterday. Kill count, once again, slightly in favour of SK, but with both teams having all their forts down, myi are far from out of this game. And we have seen that if Shinobu can land his ult, if all of them can land their ults effectively, then myi can easily win a team fight. This is all going to be down to player skill.
Aragi is just acting as a ward for now, and this is also something that the team of myi has to be careful for, because actually there's Horrible coming out that's going to reveal Aragi, but it doesn't really matter. The hard camp has already been taken by myi, and they're going to take a Shambler because it will spawn in less than a second.
Yep, and this has forced SK to back up a bit. They really don't know where myi are. Although it is obvious to us that myi are taking that Shambler here, they really don't want to push out and get caught out, seeing as they knew that myi were hanging around this area. But by the time they do react and the time they kill off that hard camp, they're going to be far too late to deal with that Shambler. Shambler does go down, so now SK knows exactly where myi is, and are going to begin rotating up to the top Shambler, but myi are also going to be on the way, and we will likely see a team fight there.
A team fight with a plant golem on the side of myi.
Looking like it will be the case. myi might wait a bit. They may just take an easy camp. Nope, they can't take the easy camp because the golem just spawned. And here we go. There's the bulb that will clear up the easy camps in the top lane. And SK are like, yeah, no, we don't want to fight this while there is a golem up. They're just going to wait for their own golem to grow. And Ral is going to take that right now. SK just going to hang around in the mid lane, clear out the wave, and wait for their golem to arrive before they do anything risky like moving in with their own golem.
Speaking of doing stuff risky, myi is leaving open a lot of seats, or rather, it's leaving behind a lot of seats. You really want to pick them up. Don't give them to your opponent, because, well, in this case it doesn't really matter though, but because SK only has 3 seats, and oh, this is good. This is really good for mYinsanity. They have 115 seats in the bank, which means that the moment the plant golem goes down, after the respawn timer, they're going to be able to pull out yet another one of these plant golems, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, but we are about to see a team fight right now. Both teams dancing around each other, and I really like what Shinobu's doing here, just dropping the Hunter Killers. The Mutalist can keep up with the Plant Golem, which is seriously working it down, which means that even though Ral grabbed his Golem second, it's already at much lower health than Araragi's, due to just a bit of superior play there by Araragi and myi here. And now myi have got SK pushed all the way back to the base, which is a bit of a home field advantage for them, but they need to take down that bulb and not get polymorphed if they're to win this fight.
That's for certain. Only 18 seconds remain on Araragi, so I expect him to go all in soon. And,
I think so. Everyone is here for when they do it. Araragi was rooted there. This is a very risky situation here. Both teams just dancing around, and they may just be waiting for level 20 here, which is coming up soon. But SK will hit it first. There's a transformation. Araragi managing to dodge the curse here, and Ral chasing back in with what he has left of that Plant Terror health. There's the Precision Strike. Hits pretty much everyone, and this fight is going well. Shinobu had to pop his number 1 there, his Incubate, and this is actually looking really good. I can't tell who's winning here.
I think it's going to be SK because Arog is going to go down. There was no devouring maw whatsoever from the looks of it. Rawl goes down. Tyrael's going to deal a lot of damage when he explodes. Wow, that was a lot of damage as Uzer goes down.
Lao bring it back? Lao has been slowed thanks to Zarbali. Lao, you need to carry this. No, there's the snipe. And if Linked and Zarbali had stuck around, that might have been a different story. But because they both backed up and just kited Lao back, Lao goes down. Nice Bolt of the Storm there. They hit level 20. Bolt of the Storm taken by Zarbali, able to blink forward and pick off Lao. That was a close fight, but because they just forced straight, as I did it in that fight, and just backed up, waited patiently for their abilities to come back on, and then just instantly turned, Lao had no chance.
Look at Zagara, look at Illidan. Neither of them was able to pop their ultimate. Actually, Illidan's
actually, it's a bug. There is a bug. There's actually no way to tell if Illidan uses ult because the cooldown doesn't actually work in replays or in observer mode.
Okay, so Zagara didn't get her ult off. That's the issue.
Yes, there was no precision strike. But however, she is going to be able to delay what is left and kill off this hard camp of SK because, like you said earlier, they had extra seeds in the bank, so they're able to bring out the Plantera straight away, which is going to slow down SK. They're not going to be able to gain the full map control.
It's even going to hurt SK because
there's no camps for them to take now.
Exactly. There's no camps, and they have a plant golem. They have the exact same level, so they're just as powerful. They can just shove down this middle lane.
Yep,
they
both
have a
teams.
full health Plantera, and they have 1 minute and 30 seconds to do so. And not only that, if mYi so desires, they could also just go straight for the Shamblers once again.
This is true. Both teams are level 20. We've seen double resurgence coming out from mYi here, just to give them a bit more control on this map. But here we go. They are pushing a lot stronger than they were last time. Beezy does get polymorph there. Need to be careful. BKB just holding down the front line here. There's the bulb. Neither team wanting to fully commit here. A lot of damage has been done to that keep, but mYi finally just going to let this one go. Going to throw down a curse behind them and begin heading up to those Shamblers, whereas SK pretty much going to do the same. They're like, yeah, we don't want to fight this while the terror is up. We're just going to go bot lane and grab the Shamblers down there.
I've been doing some calculations.
And that's dangerous.
No, Shinobu's doing the exact right thing here. He's going to just run straight towards the keep, drop a bulb when nobody's around, get a lot of damage in, and right after, oh, now he has no escape.
He does have escape. He is using his sprint ability, so he is a bit faster while he's in the party.
So to get back to calculations, both of the sides on the map have 90 seeds. At the start of the night, mYi had 15 and SK had 2. So even if SK takes down the entire bottom half, yeah, exactly. 90 plus 15 is 105. Guys, you don't even have to watch Dora the Explorer, just watch Techno the Caster. That's
Shinobu just popped his ult.
Really?
Yeah, he popped it here.
I don't see it.
It's gone.
Oh yeah, that's the issue with devouring maw, but
yeah, it's been used. It's on cooldown. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Ruh-roh.
That's an ult down. You can see they backed up. They're like, oh no.
It's an ult he hasn't been using in like the last 5 fights. So.
I think he might have actually just been using it because he's not going to need it, because he's about to take the plant terror again. At the moment he's dancing around that area. Both teams, once again, just giving each other their space, dealing with what they have. And at the moment, mYi appear to be winning the objective battle, but SK are still staying ahead in terms of levels. They're both teams just grabbing all the camps they can. Oh, too slow, SK. Not able to get to that easy camp before the terror was taken. Very nice there by Shinobu.
Another terror now going down. This time there are siege golems in the mid lane.
There are in fact siege golems in the mid lane. They will be taken down though by the rest of mYi, whereas the terror are just going to head to the bot lane, clear up the hard camp for SK. And mYi will let their own siege giants push mid and bot.
I really like what mYi is doing here right now, because they took the camps, which means that they have pushing power in all the lanes right now. There's actually a lane growing in the top lane, but they have the siege giants in both the bottom and the top, both the bottom and the middle lane, which will allow them to put down so much pressure on this keep that it will break under the pressure. I mean. Yeah.
This keep is 100% gone. Shinobu will be able to take that down with one more hit. And this easy cap is now just pretty much there for the pressure, just to hold off the wave. And now, if NY want to, they could either rotate to the bot lane with their easy camp, which looks like what they're going to do, or they could head top lane and let the easy camp deal with it. But no, bot lane is what they choose, and they will begin wailing on this.
It's way easier for MY to just do this. They have 50 seconds on their plant golem. They should be able to take out at least the turrets, get themselves a lot of mobility here as the walls go down, the gate goes down. Shinobu, he's going to go in, he pops his seeds, doesn't quite get anyone in it, so for now they're dealing a lot of damage to the keep. Can they actually take down the keep? At the very least, they take down one of the healing fountains, which is already a big success. The keep down to 20% hit points. We're looking at it in the top left corner of the screen. Can Shinobu take it down? The moment Shinobu falls as the plant golem, that's the moment where the team fight is going to happen. So Shinobu immediately falling back, precision strike on the golem, and I think this is over.
That was a bit early from SK there. The curse actually hits 2 members here, and that's 3 members down. SK holding their lead for so long, but MYI, with the patient play, the control of the seeds, are now trying to go for it. The Devouring Maw did just go down onto BKB, just trying to keep him busy, and he is dropping very quickly. He needs to get into the Hall of the Storms. Lao is on the core while this is going on, but he can't break through the shield. BKB getting out alive, throws down the root, and now it's up to Zarmany and Beezy to try and take down Araragi, but he gets out alive. MYI not able to win the game here, but now they have full control of the game. Oh, never mind.
Storm onto Araragi. Oh!
He got out.
The sword.
The Elduins might teleport. Incredible there by Araragi, able to escape from Nova. Hot shots. There's a disadvantage of hot shots for you. Found a seed on the way. 94 seeds in favour of SK.
Lowell! Look at Lowell, how low he is.
Yeah, I don't know how he was able to survive, but he did manage it. But now, MY having to be out, having to just work out what they need to do. Shinobu going to be able to take quite a few seeds here, but SK finally all respawning. They're going to be able to get their plant terror for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, MYI has been very much on point with those plant terrors, but SK is a little bit unsure right now because they have to be very careful. If they make one wrong move, they're going to lose pretty much their entire base because there's a huge wave in the bottom lane already pushing in. Araragi, he gets caught on, but
he does have resurgence, so even if he does go down here, he will be available for the next team fight, and he does go down. Does pop very quickly, so once that passive pops, he will be back up. Yep, 5-4, he will be up very, very shortly. It's the same with Anubarak. I'm not sure if Anubarak's resurgence is up or not because I think he died during that last team fight. But SK, it does give them a tiny bit of breathing room, knowing that Araragi no longer has his resurgent. Plant Terror is now growing for SK, but they don't want to fight MYI. MYI, however, they really want to fight. Nice snipe, knocking Lau off his horse there. And Fred's trying to dive in there, but SK just backing up. They don't want to fight yet, but here we go. Finally turning around now that a lot of the engage has been used from MYI here. BKB just holding down the front line here. Roll just waiting there, but oh, instantly Lau goes on to Roll. There's a Divine Storm by Ace of Spades, and this isn't looking good. This isn't looking good for MYI though. They're very low. Nice Devouring Maw though. That could be what brings it back for them. BKB has popped. He was their main tank, but SK are pushing through, and most of MYI are popping. Kerrigan, the first one to go down, except for Arthas, but Arthas was back thanks to Resurgence, and Lau is still doing the damage though. Zarmany, be careful, Zarmany. Zarmany takes down Illidan there, and Shinobu trying desperately to get out. Ace of Spades looks like he might almost steal. He does actually steal it. He was able to steal the hard cap there, and now it is just Shinobu getting out of there alive. Fred's on full health. He does not mind. He is fine. Shinobu moving back towards the enemy there, but does not want to. SK wins that fight in fairly convincing fashion, and now they're going to try and get the counter damage back onto MYI. This is the closest game I have ever cast so far.
I have to agree, the kills are pretty much in favor of SK. The experience advantage is also for SK, but they're at the same level, and for now it's up to Shinobu and Fred to just defend against the Plant Terror. All they have to do is not lose 2 keeps, and then they are still in the race. If they lose 3, it's all over. 12 seconds on Illidan. Tyrael has rejoined the battle. Tyrael actually jumping in, has the judgment available, I believe. Zarmany taking way too much damage here. Goes down to about 10% hit points. One more hit, that's all it takes. And Zarmany, that's a Nova if I'm not mistaken. So if the Plant Golem pops, so does Nova.
Nova would have bolted the storm, so she might in fact be able to escape here. And SK have just backed out here. They were looking to possibly go for that other Shambler, but their core is a bit under siege from the fact they have lost 2 keeps. Whereas mYi, their mid keep is slightly damaged, but the rest of their keeps are in pretty good shape. The top lane one is fairly exposed, but now, because SK have had to pull back because they don't want to be backdoored, basically, mYi are once again taking control of the map, grabbing both the Shamblers here, and because of that, they're going to get their hands on another Plant Terror.
Well, they have to be a little bit careful here because BKB is on Araragi, has rooted Araragi, Rawl has joined the fight as well, so they have to fall back from the bottom golem, but only for so long. Actually, is top golem going to be enough? Yeah, they're going to get their own plant golem, and SK isn't. So this might be the decisive battle for mYi. They have to win this team fight.
I think so. They will have the Plant Terror in this team fight, and SK once again still slightly ahead, but this is how the game has been for quite a while now, with mYi slightly ahead in objectives. As we can see, both bot and mid lane still pushing really heavily for mYi, whereas SK slightly ahead in levels and kills. It's down to team play of mYi versus
SK might be going for this keep here, but
they're gonna go for it. They will go for it and then likely be out to go and defend. Diving onto it straight away, we're seeing Overdrive and Rewind being popped by... Oh, they're going for it!
They're going for the core!
It's the base race! They're going for
Well,
it.
it's not really a base race if you're falling back. Everybody's coming back in. One devouring maw, that's all it takes. Core down to 35%.
It's enough!
No devouring maw. Is it going to be SK? SK still alive, and it's a core going down 1%. One more hit, and it's SK Gaming with the base race.
Oh, that was amazing. mYi ventured a bit too far. The damage, though, from that SK comp, it was just like, okay, they're in the mid lane, that's enough time, and they just instantly crashed through everything, popped all their abilities onto that core, and even the entire might of mYi was not enough to stop the unstoppable force that was SK there. Really well played. That was an incredible way to bring it back, even without their Plant Terror. If they had gone back to defend, I think they would have lost a bit too much there and started to fall behind. That was an amazing decision. Ready to rock and roll, except when you start the stream when I am not here. This time I was here, though. We're currently waiting for SK Gaming's representative to jump into our wonderful draft picking thing, and then we can begin the draft.
That's just going to take a little bit longer, but yeah. I'm very curious what they are going to be banning out, because Illidan has been picked every game on mYinsanity, and on SK, well, SK has just been rolling with the punches, I guess.
Yep, and we did the last game see SK make an incredibly good decision. We even saw in the chat just now in game, mY just congratulating SK, just like, that was a really good call. We did not see that coming. That was the best move you could have done. So we're seeing a lot of mutual respect for both these teams right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if these two are the best that Europe has to offer, then European teams have to step up their game. They have to go beyond mYinsanity, beyond SK, because they are already the best, which means that the rest just is looking up, well, those SK and mYinsanity guys, can we catch them? There's only one answer to that, and that is maybe.
This is true. Both these teams have only lost games, excluding like games with DCs and all that. They've only lost maps even to one other team in Europe in the tournaments that me and you have cast, and that is Fast Forward.
Yeah, Fast Forward is a team that we aren't seeing in this tournament though, but Fast Forward is also a fast-growing team that is getting ready to, well, battle it out against SK and mYinsanity. And from my perspective, if I'm looking at the battles that do not involve one of these three teams, then, well, I need to rephrase this. In Europe, from what I can see, you have several tiers, and I would say this is S tier, as for SK Gaming.
There's an S in Insanity. I'll let you have it.
And there's an S in Fast Forward. It's the S tier.
Okay, the super tier. Let's call it that.
And then under that you have a lot of teams that are also really good, but they can't get to SK or mYinsanity or Fast Forward yet.
I put that tier. We'll call that tier A. I'd say that would probably be Playing with Pain is Pain, I Do Hard Hots, Mouse Sports, etc.
Yeah, everybody who's in the league. So
Pretty much.
I'm expecting SK and mYinsanity to finish first and second in the league, but that's at this point. That's right now. That's what we're talking about right now. And speaking of talking about right now, we are heading into the draft phase.
Yep, and it is SK who are going to get the first ban and the first pick. So let's see what they do bring out.
So again, Tychus and Stitches. Yeah, has to be.
I expect so. And you only get one ban. Those are pretty preferable bans, but we've seen both these teams actually use certain heroes to very high effect. It's possible that we could see a targeted Illidan ban. Yeah,
but then they have to give up Tychus.
No, they don't. If SK ban Illidan from MYI, then MYI would have to ban Tychus to stop SK from getting it, which means SK would have Stitches or something like that available.
Other option is ban out Uther and then pick up Stitches or Tychus.
Very possible.
They ban out Illidan.
Very possible. Uther is a good ban, but both teams have used Uther here, so we're not going to see a huge. Uther's not going to be a huge loss. Tassadar's the first ban. Very solid. We've seen him in every game so far. Banning him out may throw MY off their game a little bit.
Yeah, might throw them for a loop, but that means that Stitches and Tychus are open.
I think Tychus will be the next ban, just to play it safe.
Yeah, but that gives Stitches to the other team. Although then you get Uther Artist, and that's also a very, very strong combination.
This is true. This is very true. Let's see. It's Stitches. That leaves Tychus open. If SK don't pick Tychus right now, I will eat my water bottle. Not the water in it. I will eat the bottle and leave the water standing just due to surface tension. Science.
That's not how it works, Thatcher.
It is if I say how it works. It's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
It's how it works if I say that's how it works. But Tychus all 100... Oh, that's the thing. Uther or Tychus? Who do they want priority?
Uther. Hands down. Uther has been every... Uther is so important to most of these team compositions due to the amount of healing that he can do by just aiming at someone.
I'm going to say Tychus. I'm going to say that I think SK will rather pick up Tychus and they'll just leave Uther for Ace of Spades.
And then Uther goes over to mYinsanity together with Arceus. That's a very, very risky play.
It's a risky play, but...
I don't like it. I am pretty sure it's going to be Uther.
If they have given that up, though, they may give away Uther, but that means they will have both Tychus and Rhaegar if they want to go for Ancestral Healing to keep Tychus alive longer, or Bloodlust to go for that extra damage, but no, they're taking Arthas! Just completely irrelevant. Just give them Uther Tychus.
Uther Tychus. Off by... yeah, Uther Tychus. Hands down.
Just like, you know what? Yep, fine. We'll take this, let you have those, and we're going to have to see counter picks out of that's one of the quickest picks we've ever had in this draft phase. Yep, there we go. Instant. Instant from MYI. We're going to have to see counter picks out of SK here. We have to.
What can they pick up against the Tychus?
Brightwing?
Tyrael?
Brightwing, Tyrael. Quite a few people with CC.
Brightwing isn't all that good against the Tychus.
Yeah, Brightwing can polymorph a Odin.
Point taken.
Not the best counter, but considering what supports have been taken and banned, pretty much your only option when it comes to support. There's Rhaegar as well. There's Rhaegar as well. I think Rhaegar is going to be their selection, but they need... I'm expecting we're going to see a bit more of a burst team from SK here, just to work their way through this. We're taking a long time picking here. I get the feeling that someone might be shouting at BKB just like, you gave them what?
Yeah, probably. He's probably going to be sent over to the Burger King to get his team some burgers afterwards. He's
a chef. He works at a restaurant. He can cook them the food.
Yeah, true enough. True enough.
Some barbecue king burritos for them.
Barbecue king burritos. Wow.
Yep. Nova, as I said, looking for that's going to be their roaming comp unless they have someone else to roam with Arthas. But the whole idea of this comp is going to be picking people off. What's the map actually? Let me.
Blackheart's Bay.
Ooh, that might be why. That might be why they gave it up so much. Nova's very good on this map for starters. Arthas still good for the ganks, and there's the Tyrael.
Yeah.
This is an engage comp. It's okay. Our opponent's got some coins. We're going to take them back now. And it's going to be all about just finding someone just like, okay, Tychus has this many coins. These are our coins now.
Now he doesn't.
Yeah, these are our coins now. This is a comp, looks at the moment, if they had Stitches in it would be perfect. It would be a comp about taking coins from their opponents. And for their final 2 picks, I'd say
I'm expecting mYinsanity to pick up Rhaegar first.
I don't think mYinsanity will pick up Rhaegar because they already have Uther as a support. I think it's more likely to be a Nubarak and someone else. I'm not sure. Possibly
Nubarak
Diablo.
and Rhaegar.
I think Diablo. Then it won't be Rhaegar.
It has to be Rhaegar.
It can't be Rhaegar. Why would they have 2 supports?
What's wrong with 2 supports?
Nothing wrong with it, but it has a much lower win ratio than Double Warrior or Double Assassin if we look at the previous tournament statistics.
Yeah, but these guys have already shown that statistics mean nothing.
I think it's too much of a risky play, and I'm almost positive they won't go with it. If they do go for Rhaegar, I'll give you all the props you deserve. But there's an Uberak, and I think it'll be Diablo or maybe even Chen as their final pick here. Or they will go for their second Assassin now, rather than their second Warrior and just leave myi. In fact, they'll probably definitely go for their second Assassin because SK already have their 2 Warriors, so they're not going to steal another one away from myi. So I think this will be a Falstad or a Reyna, maybe even a Vala.
Reyna would work wonders with Odin, though.
This is true. Reyna Odin
and the Locusts
would be nice. Yeah, buff the Locusts. That would be pretty funny.
Or Zagara.
Zagara. Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that. A very solid pick. Very decent for just poking out the enemy. There's a lot of smoke fields on this map, which is just obscure vision, basically the equivalent of brushes in other games. Zagara are very good for scouting those out and giving vision. Also leaving creep around the turret area, incredibly useful. So Zagara's a very solid prediction there.
SK hasn't really played Zagara, so I'm pretty sure they're going to save Zagara for the last pick. So
well, it's myi's pick right now.
Yeah, exactly. So SK won't be playing Zagara.
Well, that's what we're saying. It's more likely that myi will be picking it up.
Yeah, but that's the final. Oh, Illidan.
Illidan, very solid. We may even see a Hunt Illidan, just to pick people off. I don't think it's likely, but it may be possible.
In this composition, they really want the Zagara to fill it up. So I'm locking it in. Final pick for mYinsanity is going to be Zagara, unless SK takes it away.
I think the final pick for mYinsanity will be either Diablo or Chen. I think Diablo is more likely, so that's my final lock-in. Diablo for mYinsanity. Whereas SK, they have a double pick here. They're missing a support, so that will be the Rhaegar. Likely for them. And their final pick for them, what else do they need? Another Assassin, Falstad or Reyna, or Vala. I'm thinking, I don't think Zeratul good against this comp. So
yeah, but it's more about the map. The map it's really easy for Zeratul to get away.
I know, but I still think Brightwing, yeah, very solid pick. Rhaegar a bit more meta, as we could describe, but Brightwing, as we pointed out earlier, very good at polymorphing the Odin. I should have stuck with my gut there. And the last pick, I'm expecting probably a Falstad. If you're going Brightwing, Falstad is a pretty solid pick for an Assassin.
Brightwing. Yeah. If you're going Brightwing, then it has to be Falstad. That leaves open Zagara for mYinsanity.
Yep, there's quite a few Mercs on this camp as well, so it just gives that bit of extra mobility. So I think that's a solid pick. Very solid pick there from SK. And I'm almost positive Falstad will be the fill-up. But we've been proved wrong several times today. But seriously, someone needs to look into target banning Illidan from myi.
Yeah, but what are you going to... If you ban out Illidan, then they ban out Tassadar, or rather they ban out Stitches, so you can only pick Tassadar, Artus, or Uther. Or Tychus.
This is true. Well, SK taking a lot of time thinking about their final pick here, down to the last 15 seconds. Let's see what they do. There we go. It's Vala!
Interesting choice. Haven't seen Vala in quite a while, though. But in the third game, they finally break out the Vala here. Over the Falstad, over the Reyna. And Vala has been classified as a B-tier assassin.
It's true. She's not the highest tier there is. But it's going to throw mYinsanity for a bit of a loop here. And Vala does have the mobility to dodge out the way of people like the Sanubarak, like the Reyna Grenade, like the Uther stuns. She can get out of there and still throw down all her abilities and her auto attacks. It's depending on, though, with this very high CC comp from mYinsanity, whether Vala is going to go for the auto attack build, which is preferable for people on ladder and most of the pros, or whether she'll go with what we saw a bit yesterday and go for the more ability-based Vala build, so she can stay at range, not have to worry so much, and just poke forever.
Right, so mYinsanity final pick, Diablo or Zagara. Techno calls Zagara, Dutcher calls Diablo. And we're both wrong.
We haven't found out yet.
It's still taking some time. Time left, 4 seconds.
Damn it! Why do I never trust myself?
Wow.
I just don't trust myself, apparently.
Well, nobody should trust you anyhow.
Wow,
so.
rude.
Ooh, BM.
Ooh, he's only got BM'd it, but yay, it's a Chen pick! I'm happy either way. And
it's Jackie Chan.
It's Jackie Chen. And I would like to point out that the Chen will be coming down on Araragi, I'm pretty sure. And it's Araragi who I basically learned my ladder Chen build from. So it's nice to see him playing Chen. He doesn't have the master skin that I have, though. He is not a master Chen. I am Master Chen. In fact, hang on, let me look quickly. Yeah, his Chen's level 4. He hasn't even had the 500 gold from it yet.
Well, at the very least, we do have a Toothless in the game.
We do. We have the that's the third skin tint of Brightwing. Very nice skin tint. I like it.
How do you get those skin tints again?
You leveling up. Yeah. Ah. They're free skin tints that you get for leveling up. And we're waiting for one more player to ready up. Who are we waiting for? Is it BKB?
It's BKB.
Oh,
reported.
Yeah.
Reported for AFK.
BKB. Come on, man.
No, he's rewriting his name to BRB.
BRB. We have to ask him why his name is this at some point.
It has to have something. It has to.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we are getting into game, so I can actually switch to the in-game in 3, 2, 1.
And they've been beamed up. There we go.
Yeah.
The game was like, wait, they're having what map again? The game was confused, just like, we're not used to this. But we are loading in to the Black Hearts Bay, and this is the final game between SK and mYi. Winner of this will take first place in the Heroes
rankings.
Premier League. I was about to say bracket, but it's a league.
It's a league in the rankings of the Heroes Premier League. For those who are not familiar with Black Hearts Bay, it's pretty simple. Collect some coins, hand them into the pirate in the middle of the map, and then he will bombard your enemies. Well, that's pretty simple. Simple map, simple rules. Winner wins, loser loses.
Very much so. So we have mYi on the left-hand side. We have SK on the right-hand side. Both teams going with slightly out of the ordinary team comps, with a Chen pickup and a Vala pickup. Slightly out of the ordinary. Very interested to see how this goes down. And the one thing I'd like to point out is SK's team getting a little squishy on the assassin front there.
Well, so be it. So be it. 5-man push from the team of mYinsanity towards the observatory, whereas SK is only bringing in 4. So that's a very, very bad move by SK. Well,
SK though,
smart move because they get some experience in the bot lane.
Yep, that's exactly how they're going to do it. Just going to play it safe, hover around this area, just in case mY did not come. mY do have the vision of this area now, and SK just dancing around the outside of that vision circle. Brightwing, just carefully scouting. And Araragi has already made it down to the bot lane in time to get the XP from it. And now we're going to see Araragi's Chen in action, whereas mYi, pretty much all in the top lane, just grabbing XP from there, which is going to give SK a little bit of an advantage as they are hovering in this mid lane trying to get the XP, but not enough to keep them ahead due to the fact that mY have all rotated down here.
Yep, it's time for the treasure chests and all the coins going over to mYi, and it looks like they're immediately going to be handing those in.
Yep, mYi playing a bit too fast here for SK to really keep up with. Araragi just out-duels Ral there, able to chase him back, and is continuing to out-damage Ral. In comes BKB to try and gank Araragi. Araragi just completely dodging out the way, and he is outplaying Ral here very nicely here, but now he's in a bit of a pickle. He is surrounded by enemies, able to kick past Ral, but does get picked off. It was a bit too greedy there.
Actually, what he was doing was perfect, because it allowed the team of mYi to actually get a full hand in if they so desire, because they now have all the coins in the map and SK has 0. And that's a very big lead that they have.
This might change though. Going on to
no,
Fred's, but Fred's
actually
taking a lot of damage. He's dropped low, but he's able to get out. Very nice there. But this does mean that SK will be able to pick up those 2 coins. The only 2 coins they have, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, better some coins than no coins. But in top lane, Ace of Spades fighting against Link, and you were talking about how Brightwing is able to always out-sustain an Uther due to the passive of Brightwing.
Yeah, Brightwing's heal is a passive as opposed to Uther's, which costs mana. And we're currently seeing both teams neither really diving for the turn-in yet. They're just going around the map, taking control of the mercenaries first, waiting for a bit later, I believe, for when it feels just a bit more advantageous to take those mercenaries, while just scouting out the bottom hard camp for now. And it's now just going to go help his team with the easy camp, while Araragi clears the bottom lane. Whereas in the mid lane, Zarmony is just chasing Ace of Spades out of that watchtower as she does take it.
Smart move here by SK, getting a little bit of an experience advantage due to their nice positioning of the heroes, and that's also something you have to keep in mind on pretty much every map in Heroes. If you want to get experience, you have to have heroes in every single lane at the times that it's needed. If there are no minions, then you shouldn't be there. But Shinobu now moving towards the middle, picks up the observatory, and well, it just exchanges hands for a little bit. I like how this is playing out already in the top lane.
This is true, and right now we're seeing SK moving towards the turn-in. They're going to try and turn in their 6 coins here. mYi hanging around the area right now. They were looking possibly for someone to roam down. Not sure what they were hanging around for. But they're now moving a bit further forward. Going to try and meet up with Araragi. See if they can catch out Ral here.
Another big thing here is that the big golems are now pushing down in the bottom lane. Actually, the hand in from Lowell and from Fredzu.
Just
Freds. That's going to be more than enough to start the first barrage of these cannons. So we're going to be seeing what the objective of the map is, and that's handing coins, and then suddenly it starts shooting.
Yeah, but Zaroni now, as well as BZ, need to hang back a bit, because those explosions will actually do damage to the players if they are caught in the radius. But here we go. SK going to try and do an engagement here. Brightwing has teleported down, but the mYi already just backed up. They're completely fine.
Yeah, they see Brightwing coming in, back away, and they know we don't have to fight here. We can just sit back and relax as all those forts are getting, at least as one of the forts gets taken down. And that gives a huge experience lead now over to the team of mYi. And this is also something that maybe is how mYi rolls. They lose a little bit early and then slowly but surely pull it back. And it's a strategy that SK hasn't really been able to combat. But we're on Blackheart's Bay, and BKB actually has 4 coins in his possession, which means that there's now going to be a counter-offensive by the Pirates.
Yeah, teams currently taking it in turns to get the Pirates, whereas mYi just letting it happen. They're instead going to take this bottom hard camp. The only person who could contest this here is Ral, and he wants nothing to do with it. He's just going to hover around here and wait for the chest to spawn, which I believe they do in fact soon. Ral now knows that this camp has been taken, as it did appear. In the meantime, everyone appears to just be hovering around lanes, getting XP, and SK refusing to fight here because mYi have their ultimates.
Yeah, mYi getting that advantage due to the fort. However, now finally SK, because they were able to hand in everything, have also gained access to their heroic ability. A 10 coin hand in here by mYi. SK is a little bit too late to stop this one from handing in.
Yep, Zarmony did come down here to try and dispute this. But now, they're going for the chest, and we're going to see a fight over the chest. Oh, Araragi just diving in. Not caring, gets stunned by the Raid of Vengeance. Precision Strike being dropped down onto Lau. Chen has taken the barrel ult, just completely eliminating Ral from the fight. But Ral teleports back in using Elder Winds. And that was a really good fight for SK. Seriously doing massive damage to mYi, taking out 3 heroes there.
Yeah, this is kind of the issue when you're dealing with a Brightwing. And Brightwing teleported in, turned the fight into a 5 versus 4 in favor of SK, and SK just capitalized on the numbers advantage that they got from that one. So yeah, if you're dealing with a Brightwing, you need to have your support in position before the fight starts, not after Brightwing starts teleporting.
Very much so, and now SK for the first time in this game have got themselves a lead. Their team appears to be a bit more efficient in the team fight, than mYi were. They were just very good there. And Chen, he did actually do a good job. He tried to CC Ral on the Tyrael out of that fight, but Ral just immediately Elder Smite and teleported onto the other side of that barrel, rendering it completely mute.
This is also going to be an interesting here in the top lane. The fight has broken out, but Chen is nowhere to be seen. Chen is on the bottom side of the map, and that is costing mYi. And we're seeing exactly the same thing that cost mYi their lead earlier on, indecisiveness. They are not fast enough. They do not decide fast enough that they're going to be fighting that Grave Golem. You saw half of the team already in position to fight, and then I believe it was, whose name? Aragi still had to walk all the way from the bottom lane up to the top lane. And then you're too late. And this is what happens. I believe a full hand in. Yeah,
that is a full hand in +2. So they keep 2 extra coins. Beezy, not learning how to count from Dora, still continues to turn in despite the fact that the pirate was already full.
So that's going to be another fort going over to SK Gaming. And going to give them another level advantage, up to 2 levels. It's going to be very hard for mYinsanity to actually pull this one back, especially since they picked Chen over Zagara here. They don't really have that Haymaker ultimate. Okay, they have the barrel coming out of Chen, but they don't have the lockup that Zagara's ultimate brings in 3 champions that they can 3 heroes.
I still prefer the Chen pick to Zagara because otherwise they would have almost no tankiness. And Chen is providing a lot of tankiness to this team and a lot of engage potential thanks to his kick, especially when he hits level 16 and he gains the root kick. Oh no, that's level 7 talent. He does have the talent that allows him to root enemies, so very good for chasing and for when they do engage more efficiently than that team fight was there.
Yeah, but I still feel that Zagara's ultimate would have turned the fight there pretty much, just like Zerathul's ultimate with the Void Prison. But that's just my...
I think Zerathul's just too low a tier at the moment. He might have been a good choice, but he's just too low a tier to take the risk at the moment.
At the very least, they do get their full hand in, and mYinsanity gets themselves probably the fort here. Yeah, the fort's going down in one go.
Yeah, if there's towers, then the fort survives. If there's no towers, or if there's no first set of towers, then the fort does.
Actually, a fight breaking out. Raw gets caught out, and Brightwing is already dead.
Oh my god, that Rain of Vengeance. That's such a good disengage by SK here. However, they're retreating to the wrong place here. Ral is going to get caught out here. Does use displacement in his smite there, but does get picked off. He was trying to retreat to the fort that was no longer there thanks to the cannon. Bit of a mistake there by Ral, but the rest of SK, except for Brightwing, not sure what happened to her, but the rest of SK were able to, indeed, the rest of SK were able to back out thanks to a very, very nice Rain of Vengeance there by Beezy. But that is still 2 kills for mYi, which does bring them back into the game a bit.
Yep. At the start of the fight, the Fairy Dragon was turned into Fairy Dust, and that pretty much showed how powerful the pick capabilities of mYi are. However, they did use a lot of ultimates just to kill Brightwing, and there's another thing you have to consider here. There are 2 ultimates in the hands of mYi that are over time. We're looking at the Odin, and we're looking at the transformation from... sorry, 3 actually. You have the Asmodon ult, Nubarak ult, sorry. You have the Illidan ult, the barrel. I don't really call that as a overtime ultimate, but you do have 2 transformations and a lot of damage over time. Actually, a fight breaking out here at the hard camp.
Nice judgment, completely cancelling out the overdrive. There's the Odin, but the Odin already pretty much out. Aragi is just shielding his entire team here thanks to his passive brew gaining ability. And here we go, it looks like... Yes, mYi do take the hard cap, and down goes the majority of the rest of SK here. SK starting to lose this fight. Both teams have lost 1 player each, but SK have no health compared to mYi. And that fight... Oh, Beezy, you should not have gone back in there. That was a mistake, and Aragi takes him down. And that fight was almost... Oh, nice counter kill there by SK. But incredibly well played, and the majority of that fight was down to Aragi. SK dropped all their damage there, but Aragi has taken the talent known as Enough to Share. And Chen's passive is he presses D, he stops himself doing anything for a second while he gains a shield and gains Brew, which is his version of mana. with enough to share, not only does he give himself a very powerful shield, he gives his teammates a shield, which means almost all of that damage and sustain that came out from SK there was rendered mute by Aragi, giving his entire team that much sustain as well.
Also, Fred now handing in 9 coins plus the 8 coins from Aragi. mYinsanity suddenly back in the game. I have to say, these guys, they were pretty much out of the game, and then this team fight completely turned it around. Another thing I'd like to point out, not only the shield, but it was also Tychus. Tychus was fully spun up, and he was just dealing damage. He was left alone while in the middle of the entire team of SK, and that meant he was putting out so much damage that SK could never come back in. And yes, at the end he did go down, but that was after he already killed everyone of SK.
Yeah, but very, very well played at the moment. So, MY put themselves a bit back into the lead here, and SK moving as a 5-man gang squad at the moment, trying to find what is the remainder of MY, seeing if any of them were hanging around this area, but they're too late. MY have already rotated up to their hard camp.
Smart move here by MY, just picking up that hard camp. They have 10 coins, 12 coins in their possession right now. Yeah, 12 coins in their possession. And they are moving towards the Grave Golem. They decide to give up their bottom fort, but pick up a Grave Golem instead, which is going to put so much pressure on the map that they should be able to hand in yet another full load of coins to the Pirate.
I would agree. This is very possible. While the Golem is being taken in the top lane, SK going to try and deal as much damage as possible. I'd like to point out to the people in the chat who are talking about Zeratul. Zeratul is a very good hero, but he's too situational, which lowers his tier. As a hero himself, very high tier, very high damage, but with the majority of comps, and against the majority of comps, he isn't that useful, unless you're in the NA, in which case, he's picked quite a lot.
But fortunately we are in Europe, and we are seeing this match, the match of legends, the match that has been, well, pretty much the Blizzard servers try to keep the match from the servers just because of the power it generates, and there's a huge teamfight breaking out.
That Rain of Vengeance, though, only hitting one member of MY. The slow has been used. We did see double blood for blood there used onto Freds to try and slow him down, but wasn't enough to pick him off. And because of this, though, SK are gonna get another turn, and then they're all gonna be back and defend against that Golem.
The Golem is already pretty low. He's going to be falling here, but he did take out 2 of these towers here, plus a little bit of what was left over in that top lane. For the team of mYinsanity, though, they still have about 13 coins that they want to hand in, and they have to hand them in right now, because what we've seen so far is every time they keep those coins with them, and one of them gets picked off, they lose so much of their advantage that they have. I really would suggest just handing them in right now. Just hand them in, make sure that you have them, and then be done with it.
It looks like they agree with you due to the fact the entirety of MYI is hanging around this turn-in area. We're just going to clear their bot lane a bit. They're also hanging around these mercenaries. Just going to kill those off, get a couple more coins, which, will that get them enough for the full turn? I don't think it will.
I think they're at 15 right now. 7, 5, 2, 1, that's 15.
Well, their easy camps up in 40 seconds. If they want to wait that long, then they can do that. But it makes more sense to turn these in so they don't get killed off. But BKB is now here, as well as the rest of SK, to try and prevent this. SK have a couple coins to hand in themselves. Oh, it's sneaking. They're sneaking. They're trying to turn in. It's time to go. There's the root. Doesn't hit anyone. Odin instantly popped the barrel pop just to eliminate some people from the fight here. There's the Divine Storm. Oh, good lord. There's a precision strike onto the Odin. Odin is popped out, and this is not looking good for SK right now, being dropped low. But it looks like Tychus will get picked off here, which will even up the fight a little. But there's already 3 people down for SK, and they're already having to pull back.
Yeah, and look at this hand in. That's over 16 coins that they can now hand in if Ace of Spades so desires. But, well, top lane has the Night Camp pushing though. But yeah, something to point out in this fight is that all the transformations were successful. Usually what happens when Tychus pops into his Odin is that he takes quite a bit of damage while transforming. In this case, he took 0 damage. He was able to pop a few of his abilities, and after even getting hit with a precision strike, he was still alive. They had to focus him down, but the issue with focusing down a Tychus when there's an Illidan on your back, well, then you can't focus down the Illidan, and the Illidan will take you down instead. And that's what happened in the last fight. So for now, hard camp being taken by mYi, And MYI in a very, very good position right now.
Very much so.
They
MYI.
took down middle fort middle keep, by the way, with the cannons.
Oh, nice. So that is all the forts. Yeah, that is all of SK's forts gone and all of MYI's forts gone. Once again, we're seeing a pretty close game. Both teams taking and giving away team fights over and over again.
So they're pinging the hand-in point, but they don't have the coins. Actually, Lowell does. Lowell's going in. Very risky play here. They have to fall back. They really need to hand in these coins first, and then or go for the push here.
Yep, Link's time to TP. Link has come down to the bot lane with the Brightwing. So they're finally going to kill off this easy cam in the bot lane so they can try and contest these chests, or if not the chests, the turn-in, because they do need to clear their bot lane quite quickly. Whereas MYI, they need to take these chests and turn in as quick as possible before SK can react, but SK already mounted up and on the way. Those locusts will actually slow them down a bit. They demounted BKB, and they're still just going to continue pushing bot lane, whereas MYI still not trying to turn in.
This was the perfect moment for MYI to turn in, but they decide to first go all the way to the top lane. They decide to get the hard camp because they know that there's a keep at the end of that lane that is at half hit points. If those hard camps are going to be pushing, is it actually a top lane? That's a top lane hard camp, right?
Yeah, there are no mercs that go into the mid lane on this map.
Yes, so with these mercs in hand, that means that actually, does SK have enough for a hand in? No, they don't. They're actually waiting around the hand in point. But these mercs are going to create a huge push wave together with the minions that are coming in. And then also in the mid lane, there's already a triple catapult coming in for MYI. That's triple catapults, Thatcher. Triple catapult.
Triple catapult all the way. Oh, they're just waiting.
Oh, this is exactly the same as last
waiting.
game.
They're just
exactly
chilling. Well, they're not backdooring. They're just waiting for the turn. There we go. They're off.
Yeah,
I think they were just waiting for the enemy. They were just waiting for SK to appear on their minimap somewhere, playing it safe. They weren't being active. They weren't doing anything risky. They were just waiting for their chance. And there is the full turn-in with 3 coins to spare. While SK have gone to the top lane.
Right now.
They're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to do the SK strategy.
Revenge. They're going to do it. They're diving it. There's no minions with them. It's all going to be down to hero. Ultimates are being popped. We're seeing the entirety of SKB out. BZ is going to be a bit too slow here. There's the precision strike. The full team fight comes down. Chen is just trying to CC everyone while Lau bursts down. The core friends doing damage. Oh, Ruggy is diving onto it. And MYI are going to do it.
They do it. What?
MYI getting
They pulled an SK.
They pulled SK. Chen is in the core right now.
You could say they pulled this out of their SK.
That doesn't even make sense. That was so good.
Wow!
That was so good. Also, to point out that it was the nuke that finished the game. That was awesome.